Hello everyone, it is Magnum. And before the review starts, I have something to share with you. Please enjoy. Hello everyone, it is Magnum, and I just saw the best movie ever, Sinister 2. Off the bat, this film's terrible, but it's interesting at the same time, because it was from the director known as Jason Blum, who is famous for his Blumhouse production office that just churns out cheap, efficiently made film after cheap, efficiently made film, and he makes these terrible movies that always seem to find an audience, or find a profit margin somehow. He directed Sinister 2. Apparently this was the best possible guy they could get to direct this movie. And after the original Sinister movie wasn't that bad, like it was a pretty decent horror movie. I actually really enjoyed that film, although, you know, people complained about it. I thought Sinister was a really good horror movie, and this film is the worst fucking thing ever. But it's interesting because normally with horror movies, a good movie will come out and they'll make like 7 of them. They made 7 Saw movies. And with this, it's like they went straight to Saw 7. They couldn't possibly make a Sinister 3 after they did such a bad job of Sinister 2. Sinister 2 is such a bad movie, they've lost a lot of money because they can't go make 10 more Sinister movies now. Because the second movie was a complete fucking franchise write-off. Saying that right now, if you even care about the franchise. But the movie, the plot of the film, it still has an interesting original horror movie plot. The plot is not the problem. But the original guy who played the cop from the first movie, Deputy So-and-so, unnamed cop character, is going around America trying to get rid of potential sites for where the demon from the first movie could appear. So he's going around burning down houses that have been known to, you know, be sites where the demon from the first movie has struck before. So he's going around burning down these houses. He's on like a crusade to stop any more, you know, children getting abducted and murdered by this demon. And he ends up at a church where they show a particularly brutal murder scene where a family gets eaten alive by rats. And he's there to help the single mother of 2 small boys who live in a house next to the church. So, makes kind of sense, I guess. And this woman has, you know, an abusive ex-husband who's a cop, and he has all the local police in his pocket. And they have to deal with, you know, the evil side of humanity and the evil side of, you know, spirituality. But there's still a lot you can do with that premise. I was with the movie at this point, but the way it was shot and the way it was executed was so cheap and so cynical. Like, I mean, at least with the Saw movies, they had real blood squibs and people getting ripped apart. You can say those movies are complete shit, but, you know, it's better than any CGI crap I've ever seen. At least most of those movies were, anyway. But this movie doesn't even have, like, one-dimensional characters bumbling around who get killed off throughout the movie. You know, like a typical horror movie has the dumb jock and the blonde and, you know, characters, they exist and they get killed off, and that's a thing that happens. This movie is so lazy it doesn't even have that. The theme of this review should be laziness when talking about this film, because the only murders that really take place in the entire film that you see, it's just the recorded camera footage. So they have these found footage scenes of, you know, murders being recorded by the demon, And those are the only murders in the film. You only see recordings of people getting butchered. There's no, you know, tension-building scene where a character's being stalked and he gets killed off by the demon. It's just these found footage tapes, and that's pretty much all the gore in the movie. And as for like jump scares and suspenseful scenes throughout the film, like just like the first movie had this infamous scene where the demon appears on like a computer monitor and turns to face him, like the demon's looking at him through the computer, like dumb shit like that. This movie does the same thing again. It has an equally funny scene involving the main character sitting next to a laptop. It has the silliest, worst elements of the original film. Barely any effort or money put into it, no love whatsoever for like the characters or the original story or the style they were going for, but it's too cynical to even pass as something that could be, you know, purchasable and commercial. It's barely a product, how bad this movie is made. Like, there's this ham-fisted love subplot between the main character and the woman he's trying to protect. And it's so cynically, like, shoved into the movie that you can almost picture the director and the crew behind the camera going, just snickering, like, we're getting away with this shit. It's so bad. Like, I mean, they don't even put the usual stuff you see in horror movies in this film. It's just the laziest thing I've ever seen. And as I said, all the murders and all the gore just take place on 16mm found footage. Very little scenes of characters being stalked and killed off. Very little scares or goosebumps really in the film, unless you just find the idea chilling. And you know, if you're sensitive, you might still be scared by this movie, I guess. The actual main character, like the paranormal crusader, the cop, has, you know, he's like Frank Drebin or Scooby-Doo, like, you know, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He's just this colourless crusader. Like, you could do a lot with this paranormal crusader who's burning down houses to stop a demon. And it's like the least dramatic, interesting thing. It's so, it's like corporate art. Like, this movie isn't even a product that could be sold on shelves. Like, it's not even like a cynical cash grab. It's just this incredibly cheaply made horror movie. And it's a shame, because it's an original concept. Like, you could just still do a lot with the concept in this movie. They actually went out of their way to think of something different to do with Sinister 2, featuring a cop going around burning down houses. I mean, that's a pretty fucking cool horror movie concept. And I'm a guy who loves horror movies. I'm into horror movies. And I hope you enjoyed that scene at the start of the video, by the way. But, you know, I think it's because it takes more effort to make a person laugh or be really entertained by something than it does to scare somebody. Like, it's really easy to scare people. And as a result, you get these really cheaply made horror movies that have no effort put into them because, you know, it's really easy to startle or scare an audience, and people keep going to see and support these really shit horror movies. And it's so rare that you actually see a really good horror movie in theaters. I think good horror is the rarest fucking genre. Like, it's so rare that you will see a good horror movie. And Sinister 2 stands right at the top of the shit pile in terms of bad, cheaply made horror movies that will make somebody out there scared, but definitely not me, and probably not you either. So the movie fails in every way. I couldn't recommend it less. Sorry for the down buzz review there towards the end. And whether you loved the video or fucking hated the video, I'd love to hear your feedback nonetheless, because it helps me make the videos better. And I've just started doing this again, so it'll be good to see what people have to say. And if you're interested in what I have to say and you'd like to see more from me, then please subscribe. As I hope to see you on my next video. Other than all that shit, cheers for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on my next one. Thank you very much.
Walk in the dance, brand new shades on the floor while the gal them a step on. Enough cushion thing we a blaze on. High like a pyramid. Free mace and hubs. We a mash up the dance and clubs. Feel the pretty gal them on the tubs. Light up the buds. Bad man a set up the herbalistic as gods.